What's up, triathletes? Coach Dale Sanford with BBC Performance Coaching here, about to give you a course preview of the 2024 Memphis and May Sprint Distance Triathlon. So real quick, we'll talk about transition. When you come in on race morning, the transition area will be behind the amphitheater stage in this little triangle-ish shape right here. So you're going to come in, rack your bike by the rear wheel, and you'll rack it in the opposite direction to the person next to you. The direction is decided by the first person to the rack. So if you want a good spot and you want to choose the direction that your bike's going to face, make sure you're there early. So we will line up behind the amphitheater in number order, and we'll go off about every 3 seconds in a time trial start fashion. You will walk out onto a concrete ledge into the water, and you want to make sure that you are out to the end of that ledge before you jump or dive in. There will be a cone and or a person signifying the edge of the ledge, but the water is only about 8 to 10 inches deep up to that point, so you do not want to dive in too early, and the ledge goes probably 15, 20 feet out into the water. So as an extra precaution, when you get to the end of the ledge, I would just dive shallow anyways. But what you're going to do is you're going to dive out, and then there will be a buoy right here that you're going to have to go on your left, and then you're going to start swimming. It'll be a lesser degree than the Olympic distance race, but that buoy will be on your left to get out on course. And then the first turn, you will take the buoy on your right. You're going to head back west, keeping the islands on your left side. And then you will hit the far buoy, and that one will be also on your right. Once you start to come back into transition, the finish will be closer to the back of the amphitheater here than what's shown here, but you're going to swim back in, and there will probably be another buoy right here that you're going to have to go around on your left before you can get out of the water. Now you're going to be swimming right back onto that concrete ledge, so my suggestion would be to swim until your hand hits the ledge, and then you can pull yourself up on it. And then once you're on the ledge, you can run out of the water into transition and onto the bike, which we will go to next. All right, zoom in here a little bit. So when you get done in transition, you are going to exit on the east side of transition, as you can see here, and we're going to come down this bike path toward the FedEx Center in the main road into the park. Once you get to here, you are going to take a right. This is the opposite from the Olympic distance race, but you're going to take a right, and you're going to go out of the park going south. There are a few speed bumps on this section right here, particularly closer to the road here. They do have means of missing them. You can go between them, but just know, keep your head up. There are a couple speed bumps going out of the park. Taking a right turn out of the park onto Walnut Grove, and you will stay in the right lane. This is a very fast section of Walnut Grove. You're going to fly down this way. You're going to take the right-hand ramp, and then once you get at the end of the ramp, it will be policed, and you will take a U-turn right back onto the ramp and back onto Walnut Grove, staying in the right lane once again, all the way out to the far part of the course. I will say, Walnut Grove's pavement is not great. It's not bad. It has a few big potholes you want to keep your head up for, but it is very flat up until you get about over here to Germantown Parkway. So this section of Walnut Grove is extremely fast. Once you get out here to Germantown Parkway, it does roll up and over the bridge here. You'll get a downhill and then an ensuing uphill all the way to Walnut Bend right here. And then it will go down and up over one more little roller here, and then you'll be coming down into this right-hand turn. This is actually a pretty fast downhill into the right-hand turn, so it's a wide open turn, but just be cautious here. taking the right-hand turn, and then you will be on a gradual uphill, basically, about 3/4 of the way down Forest Hill, Irene. And then you will get an ensuing downhill right into the U-turn down here, and then you will have to reaccelerate and climb yourself back out here. But once you get over this little bump, it's pretty much net down all the way back to the turn back onto Walnut Grove from Forest Hill, Irene. This is a light. There will be police. You are taking a left, but it will be closed off and safe. So fly into this turn. It's wide open. It's a giant intersection, so there's no shouldn't really have to scrub speed here. Left turn back onto Walnut Grove, and then we have to roll back up over a couple rollers. We got to roll back up over Germantown Parkway. But once you're back over Germantown Parkway, once again, it's gradual down into very flat terrain on Walnut Grove. You're going to come all the way back to Farm Road, and this right turn onto Farm Road is back on itself a little bit. Just be a little cautious there. And then you're flat into the park. And then once you get, I'm going to go in here. Once you get onto this section of the park road, there are a couple of speed bumps as well. You can avoid them just like the others. You can go down the middle of them as they're split. There's a couple of rollers coming into the park, and then it's just ever so slightly up going back into transition area. This right turn here is back onto bike path. It's pretty wide. Just keep your head up. And then this dismount area is slight downhill, so you will be coming in pretty fast, and you're going to want to make sure you scrub some speed, use both brakes before you do your awesome dismount. You're going to come into transition, and I will jump over to the run course here. Zoom in just a bit here. So you are going out the same side that you came out on the bike, just so we don't have people coming in on the bike, flying in and trying to run out the same entry point. So you're going out, and then you are going to run down the bike path here, and then there is it bends around and then doubles back on itself down a hill. So this is down a pretty steep hill right here. And then once you get to the bottom of this, you are going to start your counterclockwise loop around the lake. This was the best way to make essentially 3 miles out of a slightly over 2 mile loop around the lake. So you're on your counterclockwise loop around the lake. This is pancake flat. It is a bit windy, so I would recommend running tangents and just make sure you're taking the shortest distance through all these curves. There's not a whole lot to say. It is flat. It is flat. If there's wind, it might be a little windy down there, but it is a fast run course. So coming all the way back around, the last little trick here is once you get to the hill you came down at the start of the run, you are going to go back up it. So this is the only hill on the entire run course that you have to go up. I would beast this hill, put everything you have left into the hill. And because once you reach here, you're on a flat section, you're going to feel the vibe of the finish line, and you're going to turn on the boosters and take it home. So that is your 2024 Memphis and May Triathlon Sprint course. We'll be out at the course if you have any questions. And we hope everybody has a great race day, and we'll see you out there.